you know what I love about you? You are so in your bag with so many different subjects. You can transition from, and we have in the past 5 minutes, you can transition from hair to couture. You can go to tennis. The amount that you know about tennis. What else do you know a surprising amount about?
Here's the thing about me. If I'm interested in it, I'll be really like into like a detail oriented, like deep dive breakdown. But if I'm not interested in it, it's like pulling teeth for me to know the thing. But my random obsessions are like figure skating, gymnastics, tennis, a lot of history.
Okay. Any particular era?
American history.
Yeah. What era in American history in particular?
I did a 4-part series in my pod last year on American history from the end of World War, from basically Vietnam to now. And I interviewed this historian whose name is Dr. Osama Khalil. And his book is about, the title was something like American Domestic and Foreign Policy and How They Intertwine from Kennedy to Biden.
Oh, wow.
So it was literally like it was behind the music of Vietnam, all the way up to like Iraq, Desert Storm 1 and 2, 9/11, and a lot of Israel, from the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin all the way to like the Oslo Accords, all of it. Because I was really like, everything was going down and I was like, I really need to understand more of this.
Yeah.
And so I did. And it was really fascinating. And so I've covered a lot of American history on the podcast. So
Yes.
There was another episode where I did like what happened to the racist Confederate fucks after the Civil War. And in that one, I learned that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated 4 days after the end of the Civil War. So he never had a fucking chance. That's why reparations didn't really happen. It's why 40 acres and a mule didn't happen, because his vice president was like the only Southern senator who didn't secede, which is why he got the job as the vice president, because I think he was a senator of Kentucky, which is the only Southern state that didn't secede. And that's why Andrew Jackson became the vice president. And that's why he got rid of Reconstruction a lot faster and didn't have reparations, because Six Semper fucking Tyrannis happened 4 days after they fucking signed the goddamn peace treaty papers.
And that's the podcast. I'm sat for our history lesson.
And
I didn't even know any of that.
And you know what I also learned in the podcast, which really blew my fucking mind, that this one always fucking gets me.
Yeah.
And this is what I always like talk to about, like with a racist family member that's like, man, we still talking about this. Black women didn't have the right to vote in the United States until 1965. My mom was 5.
That's wild.
And I don't think that our like people my age and even younger like really know that. I mean, literally your grandparents, your parents were alive and well. And when you think about the generations of people that were able to vote in their interest when Black women were not allowed to vote, I think is really insane. I mean, like literally our country is founded on no taxes without representation. They were paying taxes. They were not voting.
No, it's wild. And when you think of how long the world has been around and how little time Black people around the world and in America in particular have had any kind of say in the history of our country, and then people want to say like reparations and things shouldn't exist. I'm like, y'all, are you being serious?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't also know that the Confederacy lasted less than 5 years.
Yeah, it was like such a short burn.
It was like 4 years, and most Confederate statues were resurrected or built after the Civil War. They did it in protest to things getting better, which
so like I'll probably own the lib.
No, literally, they were owning the libs back then.
In like 1890.
Yeah, exactly. And they haven't tried to stop since.
Oh my God.
Jonathan Van Ness, it's so amazing to have you on the podcast.
Love you so much.
I can't believe you're here.
Is that like our cold open? I love you so much.
Yes, that's our cold open.
I love
That's
you so
what
much.
we do around here. I love you.
I gotta say, this set, congratulations.
Oh my gosh,
is so
thank
stunning. The lighting is amazing. It is so beyond reproach. You look amazing.
Oh my gosh, stop.
The other thing
Say more.
do you remember at the beginning when I said I'm going to save that for the pod?
Yes.
Do you want to know what physical compliment that's highly specific I'm so dying to give you?
I'm so ready for this. I need this like water.
What I didn't notice about you when we spent that beautiful day together in DC,
No,
you have
literally.
the cutest teeth.
I literally
The
hate my teeth.
shape of your teeth and how white they are and
look
how
like
healthy your gums
chiclets.
are.
Oh my God, thank you. I do floss. People are not flossing out here.
Your gums are so pink and your teeth are so cute. And yeah,
Wait, you
really
just made
fucking
my
cute
day
teeth.
because I want veneers so bad.
Yeah, hot.
Why?
Your teeth are the shape and they're so
They look
fucking
like little
perfect.
chiclets. They're like so small and square.
They would be like bigger, chicletier
I want
versions.
big ass horse teeth.
No,
I wanna be
over these fake
unrecognizable.
I'm over these veneers.
So what are you doing these days?
What am I not
I
doing
mean,
these
you're an
days?
author. You're touring.
Yeah.
You just wrapped.
We wrapped Queer Eye in DC this summer. But my day-to-day is like JVN Hair takes up so much of my time, like between like just our office hours, creating social, traveling. I'm on this like never ending like masterclass tour. We just launched an Ulta and Nordstrom nationwide, which was like a huge exciting moment for us.
Incredible.
And then I'm also on my comedy tour at the moment. So I'm doing like, I'm touring like all of Europe for the first time this December.
That's incredible.
I get to do like Oslo. I get to do Copenhagen, Amsterdam, Brussels, Berlin, Belfast. I'm so excited. So Hot and Healed is doing like Europe, Australia, UK. I'm doing a lot more of America next year. So just on this perpetual comedy circuit, which is slay. And then my podcast every Wednesday, like it's like researching for a guest, figuring out my topic. And then on Mondays, me and our lead producer, I love so much, Chris, we do this like, it's called the Monday Edit, where we just break down like TikTok, the news, our favorite pods, our algorithms, our lives, talk about our husbands, just our lives. It's really fun. It's kind of the version of me that I was like before the internet stopped being so hypercritical and like unfun. So it's kind of like
Let's
my more
talk about that.
Yeah, so it's like more my like unfiltered like fun part that I feel like I bring to the Monday Edit, and it's been a breath of fresh air. It's been really fun to make.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so much there I want to unpack. On JVN Hair, I'm so curious because you mentioned your masterclass and I got to attend one. It was incredible.
Oh my God, you were there.
Yeah. And you said my name and I stood up and I felt like I was floating and I haven't come down since.
I feel like, wait, did I make you? I was like, everyone, like ladies and gentlemen, everyone here, Suzanne Lambert.
Which I hate. I famously hate attention.
But I was so excited
no,
for you.
I
was
loved
like,
it. No, I was freaking out. I was losing my mind. And I met the nicest people in line.
Right?
That's one of the best things about it is it's good vibes. It's good people. I walked in and I immediately felt safe.
We have the best community, and not to be like our community is the best, but like every community is great. I'm sure. Well, not all communities are great, actually.
Oh no, they're not.
No,
can confirm.
can confirm they're not.
Some of y'all have really bad ones.
Yeah,
but
really
what is
bad.
it from Remember the Titans? Attitude reflects leadership.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's deep.
Yeah.
I love a Remember the Titans cut.
I love Remember the Titans. If I'm making a decision between left and right, I always say left side, strong side. It's really, I've done it since I was a kid.
Wasn't that the movie where, like, I think my brother is like notoriously obsessed with football, and I definitely remember my dad and my brother like dragging me to see that fucking movie. But it is a football movie, right?
You would like it. It's a football movie, but it's based in Virginia. It was like maybe one of the first desegregated high schools.
Yes, it's all coming back to me now.
The soundtrack is fire.
Yeah,
lots of Motown. If you're into that.
Yes, it's coming back for me now. Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah. When you're touring, how do you stay up to date on the new techniques? Like, are you also scrolling on social media like all of us are, looking at new things? Or
do you mean like new techniques for
like inspo? Just like
yeah. I think me and my team I'm always kind of like seeing like what's going on, and always kind of trying to measure like what's working on the algorithm, what's not working on my algorithm, and trying to figure out how to take inspo, but then like make it your own with your own comedy and your own vibe. So definitely that.
Because I think that can be really tricky online is standing out. I mean, getting people's attention is the hardest thing that you can do, right? And our time is the most valuable currency that we have. So when we're putting things out, we want to make sure it's good. Like I want to make sure it's worth the currency you're giving me and watching it. But then you also don't want to just like jump on every trend either.
Yes.
So it can be tough to kind of figure that out.
I think I also have this problem. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like I call it my reverse shallow hal disease, where I just think like everything I do is so cute.
Literally.
Even when it's like not, or like really it's like you could have cut a good 17 seconds of that. And I'm like, no, it was like all really important. So like learning to like not be so precious with it.
No, wait, I love that. I'm the same way. Like you can ask Maria, my producer. I'm like, oh, I can't cut that clip. All of it's so good. And my sister's like, maybe do these 28 seconds out of the 3 minutes.
And I'm like, no, but they won't get the whole story.
Literally, like I was agonizing over it. And what you said about reverse shallow hal, I don't know if you had any regrettable 2020 looks that you kind of tried out. I was really into the lash serum. I was laughing on your podcast, Getting Better with Jonathan Van Ness. You were talking to Heather McMahon and she was like, yeah, my strip lashes were bad. I was right there with her, but mine were real. I looked insane.
I went through a major Latisse phase from 2000 and I would say like 10 to 12. And I used it so much morning and night that my eyes turned so purple, and I grew like pom-poms, bushels of eyelashes in my tear ducts because I just like overused it. And I would have to like tweeze out the eyelashes. And my old boss at my salon would she called me Happy Cow because she said that like my lashes came around the corner like 3 inches or like 3 feet, like 3 seconds before I did. So she's like, Happy Cow, Happy Cow.
That is a deep cut.
But I loved it.
Wait, no, and you loved it?
Yes. And
Are there-
I was actually just thinking about, I was like, Grande Lash MD didn't make my eyes turn purple. Should I go back to that?
No, literally.
I miss it.
Yeah. Are there any looks that other people would say are regrettable, but you're like, no, I stand by it. I'm happy I did that?
Well, I was going to say the one that I did that was really bad, like in hair school, everybody bleaches their eyebrows inevitably at some point. And then in 2023, I was like, I think I'll do that again. It's been a long time since I bleached my eyebrows. So, and then my husband was like, you're not going to bleach your eyebrows. And then I was like, yeah, I will. And so then I did.
Just because you said not to, you're not going to. Then you're like, well, now I am.
Yeah. And so then I did. Aren't you like baby millennial? Or
I'm
are you
a
top Gen
millennial.
Z? Yeah, but like, because me and Chris talk about this. Chris, the other producer of my
Your
podcast.
producer.
Yes. Chris is like the younger half of the millennials, and I'm like an elder millennial. Chris is like 34 and I'm 38.
I'm just turned 34.
So do you feel like
We're cutting that? No, I'm kidding.
but I do like there's like a slight divide between like the younger age box of millennial and the older
Do
age box?
you?
Yes.
In what way?
Well, like I am intimately like aware of like the 1992 Olympics. I'm intimately aware with hackers. I'm intimately aware of like
You
Saved
know
by the
a
Bell in a
lot.
different way. I'm intimately aware of like Christy Yamaguchi in a way that like you might not be.
That's so fair.
Because like I was aware and alive and like soaking in information in 1992, whereas like you were like one.
Yeah, I had
Or
older
not even born
siblings.
yet.
I was 91. Yeah, I had older siblings, so I would hear about some of that tangentially, but I wasn't super.
You couldn't
in
grasp Christy Yamaguchi in the same way.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Whereas I was like, damn, that's a triple Lutz triple toe in 1992, which is a big deal. I didn't even knew that at 5. So you apply that to world events, Bush 1, all these other things.
What do you think people would be surprised by when it comes to you?
I do think fundamentally people would be surprised if they saw how fast I can change a tire, which I am.
Stop. I'm gagged.
Yeah. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from like a little town.
Yeah, from Illinois.
Yeah. And my stepdad was like, you're going to like know how to change a tire.
Thank God.
Yeah. So
What
I know
is
how to
up
do that.
with these men? Can I interrupt for
Yeah.
a second? Why do men these days not know how to change tires? I just do think they should be able to do that.
I learned how to do it.
Yeah. And I had an ex a long time ago who was coming to meet my family. My dad and my brother specifically. My dad is like the chillest 70s hippie ever, loves everyone, very chill, loosey-goosey. My brother is still very cool, but like cares a little bit more. Kind of assumes more
Is
of
he
the
your
dad
older brother or
role.
younger brother?
My older brother.
Oh.
He's like a little bit more of the dad in that way, like a little bit more protective, I would say. My dad is just chilling, right? And I was like, oh, he's going to be late because he has a flat tire. And my brother's like, well, why doesn't he just change it? I'm like, well, I don't think he knows how. He's waiting for AAA. My brother was like twitching because I think what's running through his head is
if you guys
my
get a
little
flat
sister
tire,
gets a flat tire, you're going to have to call AAA. What if there isn't AAA? And he was just like, Suzanne, he has to know how to change a tire. And then he showed up wearing cowboy boots. How were you going to show up in cowboy boots and not know how to change a tire?
I think that people, because I have a super duper gay accent, like that's what I call it. It's a mellow gay lisp. For those people that like aren't my fans, don't know me anyway, I think that those people would like just automatically assume that with my affect and like when can be really excitable, that I wouldn't be intelligent or I wouldn't know about history or I wouldn't know about like anything that they would also find interesting. Because I do think American history is so interesting. And I do think that things are so interesting that those people think are interesting.
And I think that is the hard part for me, especially with the conversation now around trans rights and how the right has really weaponized trans people, as this scapegoat to blame for their problems, right? To blame trans people for all the bad things that are happening. And I'm like, here's the thing. When even people from my hometown who I know, right, and I'll see them like laugh at stupid trans jokes or whatever it is. Let's go back to the changing a tire example. If you saw someone in a parking lot who needed a car jack or whatever to change their tire, any of those people I know would help anyone that was in need, including a trans person. I'm like, if you knew that they were trans, would you all of a sudden not help them anymore? I'm sure there are people out there who wouldn't, right? I'm not saying that there isn't violence and hatred against trans people. Most people I know would want to help regardless, and they wouldn't actually give a shit if they were trans or in the LGBTQ
especially
plus
from like
community,
my
or
small town,
liberal or whatever. No,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
No, my little hometown, I feel like I would like to think that most people would help anyone on the side of the road, but then once they did pull over to help you change your tire, if they saw like a trans sticker on your thing or like you were like, I'm trans, I can imagine them be like, the fuck?
They probably just wouldn't know how to react.
Well, I feel like they'd just be like, let me change this tire, get the fuck out of here. Like they probably are gonna like, be like, want to be Facebook friends?
Which is
with
fine.
Gross stuff in my fingernails, like can't do it. Hair color, I don't feel like this about, but like dirt, mud, shit, blood. Yeah. Although as I think about it, I was a waitress at Applebee's for 3 weeks and I was so hungry. and stressed that I would eat strangers' leftover French fries off the plate when I would take it off the thing and go back around to like where you throw the stuff away.
Listen,
If they looked kind of undisturbed,
a girl's got to eat.
I was hungry.
I was hungry.
Yeah.
Wait, is there anything on the Applebee's menu that you're like, don't sleep on it?
This is really bad, and I'm sorry, Applebee's, but what really triggers me now, and I lose sleep over, is the Ruby Tuesdays, chocolate tall cake, and then their white chicken chili.
Oh my
I
God.
think about that like probably like every other week.
Ruby Tuesday. First of all, such a cute name for a drag queen.
Why haven't
Ruby
they
Tuesday?
done it yet? Because did you guys have one where you're from? Like, was that like a big deal for you growing up?
In Atlanta?
Or just like Ruby Tuesdays? Like,
Oh, I was thinking drag queens. I was
No.
like, oh yeah, there were drag queens. Oh yeah, I loved a Ruby
I
Tuesday.
love Ruby. Do you ever have their white chicken chili? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I wouldn't have been that adventurous.
As
I
soon as, like,
always got
wooden
their
bowl.
mac and cheese, and it was
Oh,
incredible.
I never had that because I was fucking too hard with the white chicken chili.
You were going too hard with the white chicken
I
chili. I would
love
have
it.
that now. Are those still a thing?
I think they do still exist.
I would totally go to a Ruby
The last
Tuesday.
time I remember having a chocolate tall cake was in a Ruby Tuesdays in a mall in maybe like 2006 or 7. It's been a long time.
God, that sounds insane. I want to go back to something you said though, because I think this is something I had an audience submit a question about this. When you are so nice and friendly, and those are things you like about your personality, and those are things I love about you, and things I love about myself, right? When you're nice and friendly and bubbly and maybe not so closed off, I have seen it manifest where I don't feel like people take me seriously. And I've kind of gone back and forth on if I want to prove them wrong or if I kind of just let them figure it out. Where are you at with that?
I've learned how to try to like work with my personality like before meetings and like what part of myself am I showing up as right now? Am I being comedian me or am I being like entrepreneur me? Am I being like
I like that.
manager JVN because I don't have a manager? Like I manage my own career. So I'm like, how am I advocating for myself right now? Am I being like friend me or like business me? And I feel like I kind of like try to ground myself before because I feel like one big opportunity that I've had in my career is I have been too trusting and oversharing. And I try to use my instinct better with you, for instance. The second that I saw you on social, I was like, that's a kindred spirit. That's like a similar person.
That means so much to me.
And it was very confirmed when we hung. And I can usually tell like pretty quickly, but especially in but I feel like I met you as like a friend, not as like a work situation.
Yeah.
But in work situations, I feel like I've been too trusting and given people too much, mostly because I was trying to like be more human with them or like humanize myself. And I think that is something where I've been like, you know what? You don't need to tell everybody your life story.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like what I'm hearing is you don't think about how you want to show up for them. You think about how you want to show up for yourself.
Yes.
I feel like that's such a mindset shift that I needed to hear.
Yes.
Because I'm constantly like, well, maybe I'll just let them underestimate me. Like, sure, tell me my career is over while I just got my South by Southwest panel announced and JVN's on my podcast. You know, like, sure.
Well, they'll do it anyway, and you can't control what they're going to do. All you can control is like you. You can't control how other people are going to react.
Yeah.
Even I wish I could.
I'm curious if you agree with this. And it's not to say there aren't like problematic people at the top, obviously. I have found the people who are really good at their jobs are very nice. And the people who aren't very good or at whatever their respective fields are the ones who are mean. Have you found that to be accurate?
I know some really successful people who I don't think are very nice.
Yeah.
And they're really successful.
Damn.
They're just really cunning.
Hate that.
Yeah, they're just like really cunning and really like they really know how to manage their parts of their personality. Because in order to become real fuck you money, you do have to have an ability to like really turn off your feelings.
Yeah.
And I have not mastered how to turn myself into like a brand to the point where my feelings don't affect me.
Do you even want to?
I don't know. And that's been
Yeah.
an interesting thing about my career that I think in some ways I've almost like held myself back, but I'm not like mad at it because I don't want to like lose that human side of me. And I do think that's part of what makes me me and makes me special. And here's the other thing about me. I'm like not a star fucker. If I'm going to be your friend, it's because like I want to be your friend and I think that we can be like co-equals. I can't be someone's friend if I only think that like they're trying to get something from me or I'm trying to get something from them. And that's like another thing for me that like if I had the energy to play the game, I probably would be a lot further in my career. but I don't. I smoke too much weed, and
Honey.
it's indica, and so
Yeah.
I'm tired at
It's
8
the
o'clock.
indica.
And I'm a recovered meth head, so I can't be taking Adderall
You
like that.
can't.
I'm not an Adderall candidate, and I can't
I'm on
compete
my
with
second.
these. I can't compete with these Adderall hoes.
You
I'm
know
tired.
What? No, honestly, it's such an unfair advantage. I mean, granted, I've taken 2 today, and I still feel like nothing because I'm so ADHD, and like I take it as prescribed. Mind you. Wait, on the subject of weed, can I talk about the US Open?
Yeah.
Can I talk about this story?
Yeah.
Okay, so to set the scene, it was the US Open.
It's like 2025.
So the
Or no,
2025.
it's the DC Open.
The DC Open,
the DC
my bad.
City Open.
Yeah, and Venus was playing. You texted me like an hour before. I had just gotten home from the gym, and I was like,
is this crazy? But
and I was like, I got to do it. I got to make it work. I think I had something else. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe a meeting that I moved or whatever. But I was like, no, I have to go. So we meet for the first time ever in person, and we go to the US Open, and it was so cool,
really cool,
so fun,
so hot.
It was very hot,
and then we had to buy new outfits because it was too hot,
and we looked so cute.
And
we were matching the blue. Your shorts, like,
I wear them in Solidcore all the
good.
time. I still have them. They were such a good investment. I wear them all the fucking time.
You look so good in them.
I love them so much.
And then I think we were sitting in a box that we were very kindly let into.
Yes, we talked our way back into the box.
We did.
Because my publicist, like, I had gotten into the box to see Venus's like singles performance because we were there to see her doubles match with Leila Fernandez.
Yes.
And then, but my publicist was like, oh, I don't know if I can get you in the box a second time. And I was like, what the fuck? But then we did it.
We did it.
They were like, oh yeah, we know you. And they loved us.
They loved us. No, we were chatting with everyone.
But I was devastated because the night before they had those cookies.
Tell them about the cookies.
Y'all, they had these fucking, you guys, they had these chocolate chip cookies that had these white sesame seeds. Like they're chocolate chip cookies with the white sesame seeds and like big, chunky, flaky salt. I think it was like a textural thing that took it to a different place. It was very chewy, soft, yum, warm, fresh. I mean, they were like fresh and they were like big, like and thin.
Oh my God. That
like
sounds
big,
amazing.
thin. You know, but they didn't have them out, and that was really sad for us.
That was really sad. That was really sad for us, yes.
But then we went back and watched.
You were like, I could go for a little smoky. And I was like, cigarettes? You're like, no, the other thing. And I was like, wait, yes. And did I have a joint or did you?
I think we both had pre-rolls.
We both had pre-rolls.
Yeah.
But we had no lighter.
No lighter.
So we go out to the parking lot. Mind you, like no one was like playing. I think, it was like
Venus
in between matches.
Venus and Layla hadn't started yet.
Yeah, so we weren't missing anything.
Yeah, we weren't.
Mind you, as we're walking, every 5 seconds, oh my God, JVN, oh my God, take a picture. And you were so nice. And I want people to understand, not at one point was JVN like, and I think of you as JVN in my head. I don't think of you as Jonathan. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Like you were never like, oh my God, I wish. Like there was never any of that. Like you were just so generous with your time and your spirit. And we talked to so many people, but we're like, any of you guys got a lighter? Because we didn't have a lighter. So we're like walking around the parking lot. It's like, oh my God, JVN,
no one had
a photo?
fucking lighters.
And we're like, yeah, but also, do you have a lighter? And none of them had them. So I ended up having to go. I just like took my car really quick and zipped out, got a lighter, brought it back. And then we were smoking by a large semi truck, I believe.
In the woods.
And then like fully in the woods.
Kind of in the woods.
And I was like, this is the best way to spend like a random Wednesday that I've ever had. And then when I told my dad the whole story, because he's like, tell me everything, because my dad loves you.
Oh.
He was like, that's the best story I've ever heard. It was so fun. I felt like I'd known you forever.
And then we went back and watched, and it was amazing. But then I had this like, I think I had a dinner with like, I had like a dinner that I had to go to. And so
it was your Queer Eye rap dinner.
Oh yeah, it was our Queer Eye rap dinner.
Literally.
And I was happy to go, but I was also like, fuck, I'm like never gonna fucking see Venus play doubles again. Like I'm a little devastated because the match just started way later.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to shoot that day, but then that shoot got like postponed to like the next day because we lost the location. So I just kind of got cut for the afternoon, which was like amazing.
What does losing the location mean?
Like the location that we were gonna film at, like we couldn't film that day. It like had to be pushed the next day. Like, cause something happened there.
Does that happen a lot?
Well, just like if a house isn't ready, or like if you thought you were gonna do a field trip at one place, but then the manager of that location is like, wait, I didn't know it was today. It's got to be like what you just Queer Eye is really hard to shoot that way because there's so many moving parts.
So many.
Like there's 5 different field trips on 5 different verticals, and all of it is based off of like when the house is gonna be ready. You know, because like there's a makeover there, and there's just it really is a very difficult show to like film and shoot and produce. Like a lot has to come together. We make it look easy, but it is so not easy.
How do you feel about it being done?
I feel ready.
Yeah.
But also really proud. I I'd been like kind of personally advocating behind the scenes since like 2019 for like since before season 5 that like I was like, what if we did like an El Menudo approach? Like what if we like brought back some of the OG members and like brought in some new people and you could just or like The Voice on NBC, like tag in, tap out, because it really is like picking up your whole life and moving to a different city for 4 months or 3 months every year. It's a lot.
Sure.
And and not to complain, because I'm like, I love the experience and it's so beautiful and I would love to keep doing it longer. But I do think that for like the same Fab Five, it's really hard. Like it's hard on your life, and we take a whole week per person.
That's wild.
So if you're doing like a 10-person season, that's like 2.5 months. And a lot of times, and people don't know this, a lot of people don't know this, like season 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and then 7 and 8 were all shot together. So really, like we were in Atlanta for like 4.5 months, and then we were in Kansas City for like 4.5 months, and then we were in New Orleans for like 3.5, 4 months.
Yeah.
And I also think it'd be so cute if it was like intergenerational and there was like some older
That'd be
queers
really
and some younger
nice.
queers and gave
Yeah.
other people a chance to shine. And then you could have like other people come back. Like you could have like some of the OGs come back. You could have the 5 of us come back. You could have like people tap in and tap out.
Yeah.
Which I
love
just think
that
would be
I
so.
love that idea.
I think it'd be so amazing, but maybe it'll catch on. So that's why I'm like trying to say it in podcast now, because like maybe it'll like because
You
I
have
think
to
that
put it
Queer
out
Eye
there.
is more needed than ever,
I
and I think that there's
agree.
enough room for everyone to succeed. But I mean, in these last 8 years, I was already doing stand up before Queer Eye, and I was doing podcasting before Queer Eye. But one thing I was not doing so much was writing, and I have found that I can write. I have found that like I can write fiction. I love writing memoirs. I love writing research stuff. Like I love writing. I've written like 4-hour-long comedy specials now. Like I want to keep doing that. I also JVN Hair. Like I get to like cast all of our shoots. I style all of our shoots.
And
I prep all of
JVN
our
Hair
models
is
for our
the
hair.
best. I told you at a baby shower, 3 girls had the most gorgeous curls I've ever seen. Shout out my sister-in-law, Shayna. She will love to hear her name on this podcast.
Shayna.
Hi, Shayna. We love you, Shayna. And everyone there, I was like, oh my gosh, your hair looks so good. Air dry cream. JVN Hair, air dry cream. Y'all, it's so good.
It really is the most insane universal styling cream. It works on like anybody's hair.
And I know men who use it too,
My
who have tried.
husband.
Yeah, like it works for all hair types.
It's outrageous.
I've used it for different purposes too. Like sometimes I'll use it just for more like, I don't know, softness and detangling. I feel like it helps. Other times I like it because I feel like it holds my natural curls. All kinds of things.
You know what I love? I love to put it on like your hair now or my hair now. If I'm gonna like slick it into like a little low bun,
Yes.
I'll like put it on dry hair and then like brush it into like a little low bun, a little low pony. Like use it as like the basis for an updo, because it really like can give you that like slick, gorgeous control.
And the holds.
Yes.
So for you, especially you, your character on Queer Eye, you're known as being very effervescent and so engaging and outgoing and happy. And I think that's who you are as a person too. But on days when you wake up and you don't feel like that, because everyone has those days, how do you get it together knowing you're on camera, knowing the interaction you're having with this person is so important? And that goes for stand-up. That goes for your Hot and Healed tour. That goes for when you know you have to turn it on and it just doesn't feel like it's in there. What do you do?
I feel like I struggled with that a lot harder in like the onset of my career. Like I feel like 2018 and 19, like I went from having like 30,000 followers to like 2 million followers in like a year or something.
That's wild.
Or something like that. It was really.
I was one of those 30. I've been in there since from the beginning.
It was just like, whoa.
Whoa.
There was so much scrutiny and so much feedback. One thing back then is like I would name search myself on Twitter. I would like name search myself on like
I did that on the train
online.
today.
Yes,
Not gonna lie.
and back then there was such a high volume, because I mean I was like really new on this scene, and Queer Eye was like really in its like early days. So there was just such a huge. I mean, every single time an episode came out or a season came out, there was so much discourse around like, can he do this hair? Can he do that hair? Da da da. And some of it would just be really really hateful. So then subsequently, when I would go on set for like season 3 or season 4, when I would be doing hair, I would just be always really aware of like, okay, there's like 3 cameras shooting in 4K. I'm being rushed. I was always being pushed by the network to do bigger makeovers. But then from production, it'd be like, well, we need this in 90 minutes. And I'd be like, this takes 6 hours.
Oh,
Like,
that's wild.
You're wanting something that literally would take me with me and 2 other colorists, like 3 or 4 hours of no talking, no story points, no personality. Like, but I'm being rushed. And so my people pleaser was trying to like conform to like everyone's expectations. And then what would happen is like sometimes like a producer would like come up to me in the salon and be like, can we adjust your mic? And they'd take me back to Video Village and be like, hey, there's concern that like maybe this makeover isn't going to be dramatic enough. While I had like half a head of foils in someone's hair with bleach. And I would be like, do not interrupt me again. Like this hair is going to melt off. Like, oh my God, I gotta focus. Like, so, but learning how to measure that is like an artist and a performer and a producer and a host. Like that was really hard. And there were times where like I didn't do as good, but then there were other times where because of the niceness and because of like the honestly like lack of support, my other castmates were taken as a professional and not questioned. Like no one ever said to Bobby, like, we're concerned that this house is not going to look different enough. No one said to Tan, like, we're worried that this isn't going to look the same. No one said to Anthony, like, oh, we're worried that this food doesn't look right. And no one said to Karamo, like, we don't think that your lessons are whatever enough. But for me, it was like, I just had like a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Whereas like I'd been doing hair for like, 15 years at that point. I know how to do hair. I'm a licensed cosmetologist in like 10 states.
Yeah.
I think I know.
Check the credentials.
And not only that, in order to do it on time and make sure that like my field trip didn't run in late to like the next field trip, there was just like a lot of pressure on timing. It was really hard for me to like learn how to turn it on. And then the bottom line lesson for me was like, when I can't turn it on, what do I do? Well, now I know how to take care of myself outside of work so that when I'm in work, no matter what happens, I'm not outside of my window of tolerance.
Yeah.
So that looks like not going out too much. It looks like making sure that I'm working out. It makes sure it's like doing therapy like every fucking week, no matter what. Like,
ooh, I had a rough one this week.
Yes, I got to get to my EMDR. Like, especially like 2018 was really, really hard for me. And then since then, I feel like I've done a really good job of like learning how to be like a better leader. I think all that's really prepared me well for all of the obstacles that I found in JVN Hair. And I also think that that's like one of the things about Rolling Stone that pisses me off so bad. Not that you brought it up, but it just makes me think about it. Is that like, because those sources were anonymous, like who knows? But I'm pretty sure that some of them were people who I hadn't seen since like 2018 or 2019. Any of those people had my email. Any of those people, if they wanted to work or like bring something to my attention in the moment, they could have done that. It was this like working behind the scenes to try to make me look and hurt me financially and emotionally and mentally as much as possible, that I worked so hard to like make sure that I was in my window of tolerance. And I was always so worried that like something like Rolling Stone would happen. And I was always like, I have to make sure that I'm showing up as my best self all the time.
Yes.
And then I feel like I really did that work. And by the time like the pandemic happened, I felt like I'd made a lot of progress. I advocated so that I wasn't the only person in the entire beauty department on a makeover show, which for the first
which is wild
5 seasons, I was the beauty department.
And can I also just say, people don't want a dramatic makeover. They want a good one. Honestly, I think it would be better if it weren't super dramatic and it shows people.
Well, a lot of the producers were that like early aughts thing. And so they were wanting that before and after. And I kept trying to say like, and I was really trying to shift the paradigm of beauty and be like, can we embrace how people look and not tell people that they're fucking ugly?
Right.
Like, and that actually I think was part of why the show was so successful.
Let's think about The Swan. Did you ever see that show?
Yes. And I was traumatized by it.
And that's what it used to be. And I was like a little girl watching that, not thinking there was anything wrong. So for people who haven't seen it, it was a show in like the early 2000s. And they called it The Swan because they took these quote unquote ugly ducklings who were just normal, gorgeous people, in their own right. And they gave them insane plastic surgery and they wouldn't let them look at mirrors. And then they would reveal their new bodies and faces to them at the end of the season. Whereas what you were doing is talking people through how to make beauty something that feels good and it feels true to you, and like explore a little bit and get to know yourself a little bit more.
Jessica Simpson was just talking about this in an interview and I was like, ooh, this is resonating with me, girl. She was like, I don't know when people look at me and like, it's like, what version of me do they think that they're meeting?
Which is hard.
And it just makes that part like makes me sad. Like to have someone have such a definitive judgment of you based off of like maybe your most stressful life-changing time. Because there's also things that like were happening in that time that are so hard that I still haven't talked about and I probably never will.
Yeah.
That we're also making it really fucking difficult. And so, and not that that gives you an excuse, but I'm just saying like everything is a lot more nuanced and it's not so black and white about like good person, bad person. Everything is a lot more layered. And I wish that people had a little bit more understanding for that.
Especially when it's from anonymous accounts. I will tell you, as someone, brand new to this space, seeing people say things about you online that aren't true is like the craziest experience I've ever seen, because I always expected there'll be a day where I will say something that people don't appreciate and I might have to apologize or whatever. If it's something I actually do and or say, it's one thing. But to take an event like in your case and in my case and in many such cases and then totally like twist and warp the reality and then to see it reported en masse, it's just like the strangest thing, because I'm like, it's literally not true. Is that how you felt?
Well, I felt like it was just done in really bad faith in my case. I knew that there were portions of the reporting that were blatantly not true. There's a broader media landscape that just like loves to do this to people.
Yes.
And
they love controversy. The algorithm loves controversy.
And digital media loves clicks, and negative exposés get a lot of clicks. That's why headlines are so bad. And I wish this is what people really knew. When headlines are really bad, it gets more clicks. When digital media or traditional media can show that they get more clicks to an advertiser, they can say like, this, we drive this much traffic to our site. So advertise your deodorant, advertise your plants, advertise your meal prep, whatever, on like the sides of our thing. You're like, when you're reading a story and there's like ads in the middle of it. That's why when we have like some of our most venerable journalistic like institutions going after unscripted reality people, like when 22 million women don't have access to abortion in this country, and not to be like, what about it? But it's like, what are we saying? It's not like, it just is like kind of unserious.
It's like, why are we directing our attention to this of all things?
And I also think one thing back, Queer Eye has a crew of like a lot of people. And to say that 5 hosts that were not producers at first can set the tone for a set.
It's so true.
Like, what about showrunners? What about EPs? What about like what were the conditions that people were responding to? And I just think there was such this rush to like point fingers at Tan, to point fingers at me, to and it's like there was a lot going on there, and there's nuance. There is so much love that was put into the people that were on our show and experiences that we shared together, that even if there are people on our cast that like don't talk, like aren't close, like it was real.
Yeah.
And it meant something, and it means something so much to me still. And to have it be turned into this like really negative thing, that part makes me sad about it. But I'm also really proud of how our community like bounced back and grew together afterwards. So yeah, but what an experience. And I think that's why it's like I'm ready to like just like see what's next.
Yeah. And what are you most excited about?
I think I'm really excited for Scripted.
Really?
I've been writing so much. I'm writing my first adult fiction novel. I wrote my first young adult fiction novel this last year.
Talk about that.
It's called Let Them Stare. And it's about this like basically like 18-year-old me that thinks they're going to get out of their little small town to go be like a fashion influencer's assistant, but the rug gets pulled out under them. They are not going to become an assistant. And in their sadness, when they find this out that they're going to be stuck in their hometown, they go to this thrift store to impulse buy a bag, as one does.
As one does frequently, yes.
The bag that they impulse buy, though, is this very rare. It's like it's giving like fake Birkin, but like Birkin of the time. I called it a Butler.
Walmart
and
Birkin.
it's a Butler, but it's haunted by this drag queen from the 50s. And this bag can be worth so much that our main character Sully could just like move to New York and not be an assistant, but they meet this ghost and they like, so it's giving intergenerational queer story.
I'm obsessed.
It's so fun. I mean, it's young adult fiction, but adults would love it.
Totally.
And it's just like such a fun, sweet story. And that was my first time writing fiction, and taking that from like inception to like writing it with Julie Murphy, who wrote Dumplin', and she's this incredible author who I love and respect and can't believe I got to write a book with, which is so fun creatively. And so things like that, like, and also like with comedy, like thinking of a joke and then writing it and then making people laugh with that. I'm so inspired by that. And I think with JVN Hair, I'm so excited to just like continue the work that I've done on Queer Eye with helping people learn to embrace their hair and love their hair and not feel like they have to have like just do everything to it, and learn to kind of love the hair that they have.
Yeah, I need to work on that, because I'm out with the Dyson and the straightener and the curling iron every day, but I love how it looks.
It looks so good.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, it looks amazing.
But I find joy in it, and we'll get to the next segment in a second. And I'm curious if you agree. I always tell people, they're like, "Wow, I could never spend that much time on their hair." I'm like, don't. I think the energy you put into your makeup and your hair manifests with how you look. I think if you are very begrudgingly kind of doing things to yourself that you don't want to do, it shows.
It's so true.
And if you don't feel like it, literally don't.
Just don't.
It's fine.
You'll probably look better.
Pam Anderson's doing it and she looks gorgeous.
I met her on the Golden Globes carpet last year, and I was just like, I'm a very talkative person, as you can tell. I was like so speechless.
Really?
Yeah, she's just like so stunning.
I haven't been that starstruck yet.
She got me really starstruck.
I got close with Elizabeth Warren, and I try not to put politicians on a pedestal because they're politicians and they work for the government, right? But that was pretty. I got a little butterflies.
I did too. Her and like Venus Williams, athletes do it to me really bad.
Yes. I remember you when you talked about meeting Venus, you're like, was I too much? You were talking to your publicist. You're like, no, she loved you. You're fine. You love her so much.
I said I can't even. I can't even repeat it. I brought up fucking pickleball. I could die. I can't even talk about it. We're moving on. It's fine.
The purpose of the show, it's called Mean But True.
Yeah.
Because while we can be little sweetie pies, we also like to be a little mean sometimes. Yeah. What's something mean but true that you would like to share?
I feel like too many people are using protect your peace to justify just being like incredibly selfish and uninformed, especially around like not voting or doing nothing. I'm really into Americans United. They're this organization that is dedicated to the separation of church and state.
Oh, cool.
And you can start like an AU that's Americans United, like in your hometown. You can do a chapter there. There's just so many things that we can do. You could volunteer at Planned Parenthood. You could fundraise for, like, there's just so many things that we can do and could be doing. And I think if we're protecting our peace so much that we're just like not reading the news and doing nothing to help our community at all and just kind of going through the motions of like going to work and you're not feeling good and you're feeling helpless and selfless and maybe you're a little irritable with your family and you're like, God, I really could be treating people better. Well, the way that we do that is by being of service. And you really can. You will feel so much better when you can help other people. And especially in a time when we are kind of powerless legislatively, protecting your peace, if that doesn't look like helping some people, then you're actually just being selfish.
I love that. And I think the best thing we can do when we feel helpless is to be helpful. Yes. If I feel like I have no agency and nothing I do matters, because everyone has those days, right? Where it's like, what's this all for? Oh my gosh, things are hard, things are bad, whatever. The best thing I can do to get myself out of it is to do something helpful. And that might look like bringing in my neighbor's trash can or, whatever it is. Like whatever it means to be helpful, be a good neighbor. It doesn't mean you have to like make a post on social media. It could literally just be doing something nice for someone.
And it also, if it is social media for you, like what is the content that you're putting out? Like, can it be helpful? Can it be a call to action? Like, can it be like something better than like just burning shit down with no call to action on anything part. Like a positive solution? Yeah,
like I think you need to know your intention. And I tell people that they're like, I want to be a Regina George liberal too, and that's great. But also, some people's superpower is they're really good at keeping calm, having really tough conversations, and they can broker. And that's not a strength of mine, and I know that, right? So they might be better suited to have those tough conversations with family members. I'm still working on that. Everyone has a power and a strength and a big gift to share, and it's not always going to look like everyone else's. To have those tough conversations, do you have any tips for people who want to navigate that with family members? And it doesn't even have to be political. Maybe there's just like a tense topic that's difficult to address. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, I think taking care of yourself first is really important. So like before you have the conversation, like whatever your thing is, like whatever your little solid core girly or like quick walk or listen to your podcast or like make your little oatmeal or whatever you like to do in the morning.
All of those things.
To ground yourself.
Dream morning you just described.
Yes. Like do that and like don't go into it when you're not in a good stable place. Because my therapist calls it like your window of tolerance. Like this is your window.
Yeah, you've used that term a few times.
And anywhere in here you're in your window. But if you're starting a conversation, can you go like this for me? Yes, like if this is the top of your window of tolerance and this is the bottom and you're starting a conversation already up here because you weren't taking care of yourself, you might go over and like fuck up and spill out and end up in a bad space.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can take care of yourself better, so you're kind of down here, you're just down here because you took care of yourself. So you're not going to blow your gasket so bad in the tough conversation. So the better you can take care of yourself leading in, the better it will be. And then also my therapist taught me about this thing called like nonviolent communication. Like if it was like your sister and you were like, when you watch Fox News around my kids, it makes me feel like you are indoctrinating them.
Sure.
So in future, I need you to not watch Fox News around my kids.
Yeah.
Or I won't be able to let you be around my kids. It's not like when you watch Fox News, I feel like disrespected because you're a selfish bitch who likes all this fucking shit that I don't like, you fucking racist ass phony baloney cunt.
Right.
No, it's like when you when you
Damn, that rolls off the tongue though.
Right, it was good, right?
Man, that was good.
But it's like when you X, I feel Y. So I need you to do Z. You do put your feeling into it because no one can argue with your feelings.
Yes.
Because I do feel this.
Yeah, I do feel this.
Yeah.
And you don't get to tell me I don't. You can think it's stupid that I feel that way, but I do feel this way. I love that. And I even like the physical cues with figuring out where you're at. I need to do that with myself.
Yes.
Like, am I actually in a good space to have this conversation? Okay, 2 more questions. Someone or something you'd like to roast and someone or something you'd like to toast.
Someone who I would like to roast, but I am deeply afraid of them is Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is this like makeup artist, founder who is like trans and he's basically like a turf gay.
Yeah.
Who's like, I'm a femme gay, but I'm a man. But then he says that you can be a man, woman, or trans, but doesn't believe in non-binary people and thinks that it should be LGB, not and the T's and the Q's. Which I guess is that is trans and the queers.
Right.
But let's not forget about intersexuals and asexuals because I do think that they're an important part of our community.
Of course,
because intersex people really are the like key in that even biologically gender is not binary because intersex people do exist.
They literally exist.
Like it's kind of a significant amount.
Yeah.
But him, on the positive side, I love his capitalistic obsession with Hermes. Like, I also have been bitten by the Hermes bug. And I love that this diva is just out here in her busted lace fronts, putting people on the chopping block, ordering fucking so many Hermeses and his little, like, fingerprint, like, Birkin layer. I have deep respect for his Birkin game. But I just wish that he could be more just down with the community.
Yeah, you don't have to do all that, dude.
Yeah, like you can be in Wyoming raising your yaks in your Republican state with no income tax, and that's cool. And like keep your money and have your Birkins, but like, do you have to make it harder for trans and queer people and sow division at your community's expense? Which, whether you like it or not, we are all in the same community. And if you think that for 1 minute a fucking conservative would look at you and spare you, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they hate you too.
They really fucking hate you too.
Right.
And not all of them, like in our little small town analogy, but like if you were with a problematic one that with your tire needing to be changed, you wouldn't be safe. And that's what we're saying. Like you need to be in solidarity there. So that's one who I would like to roast, but I do respect the Hermes game.
Yep.
One who I would like to toast, I gotta say Matt XIV. I love that Matt XIV. I am so proud of them in like this like non-patronizing way. Like I also simultaneously look up to them and they're younger than me. Like I just think their podcast is incredible.
I have to listen.
Their
I've followed them on
content-
social media forever.
I think it's called A Bit Fruity Pod.
Okay.
It's just incredible. And I just think they are so brave and I just respect their game so hard. I just love them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Anything else you
Oh,
like
and
to
Alok. And my friend Alok.
Alok? Wait,
Yeah,
why
Alok.
why Alok?
Because Alok is just, I think, the thought leader of our generation. That's what I always call them. And they taught me so much of my worldview on gender and opened my eyes in so many ways and allowed me to connect with parts of myself that like no one else had really taught me how to navigate. I just think they're one of the most loving and incredible, amazing fucking people. Yeah.
We love you, Alok.
Yeah.
Okay, I lied. One more question and then I swear we're done. What's something you want to be asked that people don't normally ask you? And then answer it.
I don't know.
Want me to share mine?
Yeah.
So I wish people would ask me more like who my comedic influences are because I feel like it would make some things make sense. I love Phoebe Robinson. I don't know if you know Phoebe Robinson. She uses so many analogies and similes in her writing, and I do a lot of that. I picked up on that from her. Molly Shannon.
Oh, big
Right?
comedic influence for me too.
Why for you?
The physical comedy is huge for me. I had her on my pod when her book came out, and she was teaching me
Hello,
that like,
Molly.
her dad was in this huge car accident and like
Yes.
hurt his back. Do you already know this story?
I've read the book.
Oh my God.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but it wasn't so cool how like her physical movements were a way of her kind of like making peace and acceptance with her dad's physical movements. And so it was almost a way of her like, I just like, whoa, that blew my mind. But yes, keep going. Molly
And
Shannon.
she talks about that too. She talks about the physical aspect, and she talks about in her book specifically when she was doing the Mary Catherine Gallagher character on SNL. And Superstar was like a life-changing movie for me because I was also, a young Catholic schoolgirl who wanted to be famous, and they didn't shame her for it.
Yes.
And my family never shamed me either. They always kind of embraced it, even when it was super annoying, like they did in the movie, right? Like she wasn't looked down on for it. And I feel like little
No.
girls are meant to feel silly or stupid, and little kids in general for wanting that. And they didn't do that in that movie. But she talks about how important it is to look ugly. You have to be willing to look ugly for comedy, and how she was really trampling over those chairs on SNL and would be banged up, and the producers would be like, dude, you're going to sue us. Stop doing such physical comedy. So those are two of mine.
The way that she would bend her knees and jump up and over like tables
Yes.
and chairs, like I was obsessed. Mine, can I answer that question too? Because that's like a really good
No,
one.
please. No, I want you to.
Number one, Margaret Cho. Like number one, she was
Yes.
my intro. She was my intro into stand up. Notorious CHO in 2001 rocked my fucking world. I did shoplift it from Blockbuster.
Wait, I love that.
I'm hoping that they don't sue me. I feel like that one in
Don't.
Washington can't sue me anymore.
Don't do
hopefully.
it. Don't
But
do it.
her major, Lisa Lampanelli, Ellen DeGeneres,
Yeah.
in the day, all of the queens of comedy, Margaret Cho and all of her specials and all of her Comedy Central work. Oh my God.
You're just like, that's the blueprint.
Yes.
I want to do my version of that.
I really like how like political and sex positive she is.
Yeah. So we're at time. I could talk to you all night, but we're about to go get dinner.
Yeah, we're gonna go
and
get dinner.
drinks
Yeah.
after this. Where can people find you?
At JVN on Instagram, at JVN official on TikTok, because there was someone who already had JVN. Can you believe that?
Drop the handle. That's
also
crazy.
just started a Patreon, which is really fun. My Patreon is giving me like how I was on the internet before it stopped being kind of so unfun with like
Yeah.
unsolicited feedback from like overly sensitive.
I love you, but
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like a place where it's like, I'm just assuming that if you're spending like $4.99 a month, you're not going to be like trolling me in the comments. It's just like, I'm fostering like a more kind of fun community. And so basically I do like extended cuts of the podcast where it's French Kitty Corner and we do listener questions with every person. And it's kind of like the unplugged like version of the podcast. It's like you get to know the guest in kind of a different way. And it's like me kind of being a little bit unhinged because we just
I
recorded
love
it.
that.
Then I do like breakfast in the bathtub series. I do like these vlogs. I just do these like kind of like exclusive things that are like fun.
So at JVN, they can buy tickets to your tour, Hot and Healed.
Yes. And my podcast every Wednesday. Everything's at jonathanvanness.com if you want to see what I'm doing.
And if you want good hair, buy some JVN hair. Get the air dry cream. Get the oil. Get the drops.
That's what I have in my hair today, air dry
We
cream.
love.
We give air dry cream
It looks
today.
so good. And I love the color.
Thank you.
Very nice color.
Thanks for having me. I love you so much.
Well,
And
thank you so
congratulations.
much. I love you. Thank you. And I'll see you next Tuesday.